Hey everyone, Christine Lozano here. Thank you for joining us on Why with Christine. Before we start, I want to give a shameless plug on my viperroomphotos.com website, viperroomphotos.com. You see it right down here. Go ahead and click on that. I have a book for sale and also individual prints if you're so inclined. This is the Viper Room during the heyday in the 90s, 1995 to 2004. Rare, never before seen photos when I was the in-house photographer for the Viper Room when Sunset Boulevard was the place to be. All right, thank you. Enjoy the show. Let me see this shirt. What? Let me see it. Look at that. I don't even have one that's. I don't even have
You
one
know what?
that's.
This is not the original one. This is like some designer made it, and I found it in
Okay.
somewhere.
Some.
So man, how are you? It's been forever.
Fuck,
I
dude.
can't believe it.
It's been forever. Look at you. You look amazing.
You look
Yeah.
amazing. I look terrible. I had all these cool effects on this thing here, but now it's like it's just not doing it.
That's okay. I'll put filters on us, girl. Come on.
No, I had
So
like flowers and stuff and blurry. Lots of
blurry.
blur.
No. So I'm so glad I got you, man.
If I go
And
like this,
if you want to touch it, look what I can do with my tongue. I can touch the inside of my nose. Yeah. Uh,
no, that I do this when I'm thinking now.
oh
It's
dear.
an old age thing.
Oh, no. Oh
I
my God.
don't know.
You're hilarious. You know, hey, it's fucked up in there. It's fucked up in the TV movie industry. I'm.
Everywhere,
I mean, ugh,
everywhere. You know what? I feel like I'm back 16 and I'm fucking hustling.
trying to figure out what you want
I'm
to
a
do with your life.
hustler again.
I know, dude. Well, I'm in fucking Texas. I'm not even in LA anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
I'm in El Paso. So, um,
You know, Dominique is there too. She moved there a long time ago. You know Dominique Davalos, the
was
bass
that the
player?
was that the one I met? I met somebody. I think so. Yeah,
I
she's in.
always used to hang out. I always used to hang out with Dominique, and she was actually the one. She used to rehearse at the Central,
Okay.
and that's what, like way before.
Yeah, the Viper. Yeah. She's in El Paso or she's in Texas.
I don't know. All I know is that she moved to Texas
Yeah.
a long
Because
time ago.
not too many people move to El Paso, but I mean, mostly it's like Austin and stuff like that. But well, let's start, and then we'll just chat like two fucking old ladies on our stoop. How's that? So
Okay. Oh God, it's
okay.
been so long. It's great to see you, man. I miss you. I miss everything.
I
I'm
know,
grateful for the amazing time I
dude.
we used to have.
Yeah. No. Well. Okay. Well, let's start. Hello. This is Juliet. How do you say your last name? Jemai. Jemai.
Juliette Jimaa.
Jema. Oh, Jima. All right. Look at that. I've
It's a
known you for
double
how many
A.
years? And I'm like, what's your name?
Yeah, come on. I'm not good in that either. Plus, I always forget birthdays and all this other
Well, we're not even gonna
normal
go.
normal people stuff.
We're not gonna go there. Man, it has been a bajillion years. I'm not even joking. I was trying to think when's the last time we spoke, and we just fell off the earth. Basically, I don't even remember why, how, when. But I do want to. We won't talk about that because I don't remember it. But I do want to start. Is how do we know each other, Juliet? How did we meet? Do you remember? Because I,
Wow.
because I don't. It was the
Okay,
90s.
I know that. Okay, Dominique used to rehearse at the Central, and she always used to take me there, um, and then a bit later, somehow Johnny bought the place and he turned it into the Viper Room, and I don't know, did I meet you there or maybe through Jackie or maybe I think you took me to
Oh,
no, wait a minute. You took me to Johnny Depp's house.
okay, but
Or
I must have.
Sal?
must have met you through Jackie, the booker that was there.
No, Jackie, my friend Jackie, the actor.
Oh no, then I don't know about that. Um, okay, but it's somehow through the club ish thing because
Yeah,
I know, and we don't have to get into it, but you were there with me the week before. We were there with Michael Hutchins. Remember that?
I know. We went
Yeah,
for dinner with him,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We were
and
there. Yeah,
you, yeah,
yeah.
we went for
Well, yeah,
dinner, and
and I.
then that. But that was way later.
Oh
We
yeah, yeah,
met
yeah.
long time. We met. I remember, after Johnny bought the place, we used to hang out there all the time, and I think I met you either through Sal because Dominique knew him,
Maybe. I don't know.
or yeah, I think Sal introduced us. To be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And then I was there. The first night I remember was when we went to the Viper Room, and then River Phoenix died.
Okay, so yeah, well, I didn't start until 95. He passed in 93, so you were there way, you were going way before yeah, I didn't start until 95. But then that's how we know each other from there. Yeah. Okay, and then just became friends. I actually went and stayed with you. Are you still in Dusseldorf?
Yes,
Still same place or no?
you came to visit me here in Düsseldorf.
Oh my lord.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't. Did you? I don't.
Yeah.
I remember there was so many people back in the days coming to visit me. Nowadays, nobody's coming anymore because I live 5 flights up with no elevator and no one makes it up.
No, I came to
Oh, you
see you.
did.
And then remember, I went traveling around Germany by myself. I went to Cologne and Heidelberg and stuff like that because you were working. But
No.
you introduced me to, because it wasn't popular out here yet. You introduced me to Red Bull and vodka because it was so
Yeah,
popular.
because I
Yeah,
had these friends who were doing Red Bull here
yeah.
in Germany. Yeah, I
And it was
remember.
like
Oh my
a
God, that's like a
warehouse
100 years
party.
ago.
And I loved that you had this instant coffee there. I think it was probably, I don't know if it was Sanker or whatever the fuck it was, but it was so good. And the bakeries there near you were amazing. Yeah, I remember all this. I
Oh
remember the important
wow.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, there was so many people here. God, that's crazy. That
yeah.
place has seen it all
Are
the
you,
secrets.
are the, are you in the same building, just further up, or a whole different?
No, I'm in the same place.
Okay.
It's insane. I can't even say it that I have this place since like 35 something years.
Hmm.
The reason why I never moved or never always came back here, let's say it that way, is because the rent was so cheap up until almost Corona that I was always paying it 1 year in advance.
Oh,
And I
okay.
just kept the place, and people just came visit. And if I wasn't here, other people was staying here and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still. I mean, I want to move, but now it's all fucked up. So
Well,
basically,
well, it looks good. So you have two levels. Do you have, is that stairs over there or what?
no, no. This is the ceiling, the
Oh,
roof. Basically, I'm under the roof.
you're. Oh my god. Okay. Well, yeah.
And I have a little emotional companion.
Well, support animal.
Hi.
Aw.
Say
Is it
hi.
he or she?
She.
What's
It's
her name?
Ivy. It's 1.9 pound of happiness. The first movie I saw was Bambi.
Okay, that was mine. Not well. I mean, it just
And I
ages
was
us, but.
probably 5 or 6 or something like that. But it wasn't. I mean, it was a huge movie theater. As far as that's what I knew about movie theaters. We didn't really have that many here.
Mhm.
But it was like I remember it was like a Jesus house or some kind of churchy thing, and they had like this movie matinee for little kids on Sundays at noon, and that's where they played Bambi. And I
You
think I went there like every week or something
you
whenever I
were
was
you were
available.
you were attending the Jesus house a lot?
No, 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 just for the Bambi movie. But I
Right.
remember that house was there. It was on the corner, and it was like a big orangey thingy, and it had something Jesus written on it and stuff. I didn't know what it was. I didn't care. I just
Right.
remember they had this sign where it says, "Hey, Bambi is playing." So I was like, okay. And I loved it. I still love it.
I haven't seen it in ages. I just know it's just depressing. That's when you learn about death and all this stuff. So that was like, okay, but yeah, that was
Yeah, it
it was
was really sad. It was really sad. It was definitely yeah, it was definitely connecting to my sadness. Maybe back then. Maybe that's why I liked it, because I was a sad kid.
you
No,
were you,
actually.
you were emo, an emo kid.
No, no, actually not. I was like, as far as I remember, my childhood. I don't know if I've ever told you. I grew up as a carnival show kid, so we were traveling around all the time. But during season break, we had a home here in Düsseldorf, in a regular flat.
What do you
So,
mean
and
show
that's,
kid? No, I didn't know this. How do I not know
yeah,
this?
I grew up on the carnival.
What? How did I not
Yeah.
know this? What the heck?
I was traveling with the carnival until I was 14. My uncle, he used to cut these black and white silhouettes, from people, and he was a really well a painter, an artist, and he would actually paint all the monsters of the ghost train and all the little houses and stuff, everything you could attend on the fair. And it's actually funny because I remember Dominique taking me to the Viper Room and telling me that Johnny was putting up a carnival. And she actually made me, she was like, "We're going to do these candy apples." and and she said, "Oh, why don't you make the sign, because you're the carnival kid and blah blah blah." So I was like, yeah, I ended up making the sign. It was all glittery and and sweet and stuff. And then I kept saying to Dominique, "Make sure it's spelled right, because if Johnny sees this, he thinks I'm retarded." Because apple in Germany, Apfel is spelled with el at the end, and in English it's
English.
le, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, we were debating this and stuff, and I made this sign, and I was super proud of it. And we went to the Viper Room, and then Johnny came, and the first thing he said, he was like, "Oh, that's great, but apple is spelled wrong." And I was like, "Oh my god." I was so embarrassed. I'm sure he's not going to remember, but anyways, I remember that I was super embarrassed. But yeah, I was a traveling carnival show kid, and it was the most amazing childhood you could imagine.
I did
Because
not know this, man.
yeah,
That.
because everything is for free. It was just magical until I was
Hmm.
14, and then my uncle died, so I had to. My mom sent me to England to school, and the yada yada yada. Everything took its turns from there, but maybe there's a connection to this thing in meeting Guns N' Roses later, or Izzy, um, because I was traveling all the time, and when I was young, so I was so used to traveling. Being in one place is actually hard for me. It's still hard. Traveling is like super easy.
Hmm.
And then later being on tour with them, it was maybe it was meant to be or something. I was born for that, basically. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that I didn't. Wow. See, I just learned something about you. Wow.
That is
Um.
fun.
So, when did you start doing makeup? What made you decide to go into that? Did it have something to do with that? Why did you go into makeup and not
Well,
acting or
first,
whatever?
first of all, I had no idea. Actually, I wanted to study art and English for some whatever reason, I don't know, just being a little punk rock kid and making my own clothes and stuff. So I thought this is what I want. And then I remember I wanted to attend this school where you need like it was like a college or something where you needed like a special degree to go further, college or university or something like that. And I didn't have that degree because being a carnival child, I've been bouncing around from boarding school to boarding school to this to that to that. And so I had really bad degrees. Basically, I got kicked out of a lot of schools. And but I actually applied for this one school. I really wanted to go. I don't even know why. And I remember they rejected me, and I was at home and I was upset. And then my brother came home and he had a new girlfriend, and they were like, "Hey, what's wrong?" I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to go to the school, but they rejected me." And then this girlfriend, I swear to God, there were so many magical moments in my life. It's crazy. This girlfriend of my brother, she said, "Well, do you really want to go to the school?" And I was like, "Yes." And she said, "Well, my dad, he's like the principal of that school." It's like, it's no fucking coincidence. Okay. And I was like, "Okay." And she said, "Well, if you want, I can get you an like a meeting. You can talk to him." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Is that even possible?" Like, you know. So anyway, I guess I went over to the house and I met the dad, and I swear to God, I have no idea what I told him. But a week later, I got the acceptance letter. So I ended up going to a school where I had no degree, and in actually going there. So that moment taught me like super magical lesson. It was like, I know there's a way for everything I want in life if I know the right people, or
It's not what
if
you
I
know, it's who
really
you
want
know.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but back then, of course, I didn't understand all of this. It was just unfolding, or I guess I was just dreaming and it just
Hmm.
happened, or I was just lucky, or I have no idea. But yeah, so and then I started going to that school, but then when I met Izzy, and he called me like for like a year, after we met, because I was like, "What do you want? You're
What do
gonna
you
be,
want?
you're a musician, you have many girls, you're traveling around the world, you're from America." I'm like this small town nobody from Germany, from this little town. And he kept calling like for a year. We were talking on the phone almost every night. And then he invited me on my 19th birthday to come to America, basically. Um, and so, yeah, I went there. And when they played with it was actually, I was on tour with them. I was in America trying to, figure out, learning about this life there and stuff. And I remember there was a time after being on tour for a while that I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be just a girlfriend to be on tour. I want to do something." And Izzy was really trying to help me. He was like, "Well, you can sing on my solo record or this and this." He came up with all these great ideas. But back then I was so stubborn, stupid, and dumb. I was like, "No, I have two hands. I need to do everything myself, and I'm not good enough," or something like that. I was like, insecure. And when they were playing with the Rolling Stones, I remember talking to Ron Wood and saying, "I don't want to be on tour all the time and don't have anything to do." And I remember Ron Wood saying, "Why don't you do what my wife does? She's on tour with us. She does like styling or makeup or something." I don't really remember what he said, but I remember that he said his wife was on tour with them, working for them. And after these shows, I talked to my friend Antonia in Germany. She was a makeup artist, and her boyfriend was a photographer. And she said to me, "Hey, there's this amazing makeup school, the best in the world in LA. It's called Joe Blasco." And so I talked to Izzy, and I was like, "Hey, I want to do this school. I need to do something. If you want me to stay here, I have to do something, I have to learn something or anything, because I couldn't get a job because I was German. I didn't have working papers and stuff
Right.
like that. So, and Izzy was always super supportive. So he actually took me down to that school, and we had a talk with Joe Blasco and stuff, and I ended up enrolling in that school. But I didn't know what a makeup artist was or a stylist. I didn't even know that this job even existed, to be
Right.
honest. Even at the video, I remember at the Sweet Child O' Mine shoot and everything, I had no idea what they were doing. Yeah, they were taking some pictures or they were doing videos and stuff for their music, but that it actually behind the scenes what's going on. Of course I saw all these people there, but I had no clue what anyone was doing, and I didn't know that the job as a makeup artist even existed, basically.
Wow.
Not
So
so.
how long was the school? How long did you have to were you there?
The school was 3 months.
Oh.
I almost got kicked out, but then Izzy actually went back and talked to the guy, so I ended up graduating. I got a diploma from that school, and then and then Megan Hodges slash his girlfriend, she was a model. She was modeling, and she said to me, okay, you finished with school, then now you can come to New York with me, stay in a model apartment, and you can start testing with photographers I know and build up your portfolio.
Hmm.
So all this New York model apartment testing, photographers, portfolio, I had no idea what it was, but I thought it sounded good. So I ended up taking the red eye and going to New York and staying with her in a model apartment and started testing with photographers. I remember I had my little makeup case running up and down 42nd Street and doing makeup on random, on some girls on a photographer's balcony, and he was shooting them on the streets. And yeah, that's how it started.
That's amazing, dude. Wow.
I know.
Wow. Wow. And then do you well we'll go on that to a little bit, but let's go into the question. So being in America and basically starting in America, but
Right.
then, you know, going back to Germany and then continuing it, do you see a difference in the artistry between America and Germany? Like doing the makeup?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. And I mean, with time, obviously things kind of evolve even in Germany. Um, well, America, first of all, for me, it was hard being back in Germany on one hand because it's different. Basically, I was used to being around a lot of artists, open-minded people who just been inspired by so many other things which we didn't have here.
Hmm.
And so I was in a constant conflict because I knew the music side and I wanted to make music and I wanted to do makeup, and I knew in LA or in America it was okay to do a lot of things, and still do your art and be respected for it. But here in Germany it wasn't like that. So um even though I had the fortune that I immediately got an agency, represented by an agency here in Germany, and because I didn't have the problem with the working papers and stuff, I worked right away. Even though, to be honest, I wasn't good, but I got really great jobs. And but they always had a problem with me as a person. As far as I remember, my agency would always say, "Oh yeah, your work is great, but they don't want a rock star on the set." And I never really understood that, because I was so used to
Right.
that lifestyle, and I didn't know how to be a different
Just like
person.
blend in with the regular folks.
Yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and also because I loved that, especially New York and LA, I love the fashion there, the style. It's just so much more. Maybe it's because I was there living it, as a young person, but it's just more exciting for me. And just the fact, I think, as an artist, I don't know if I can say you have a bigger chance, but it's just I think it's just, I mean, it's not easier on one hand. Everyone has to hustle. Being an artist is a hard life, But it's definitely more fun, and it's more creative than Germany. In Germany, I mean, I was doing music videos and big commercials in LA, and then when I came to Germany, there was no fashion. It was kind of and I was doing just like catalog and just boring stuff,
Uh-huh. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So also, as far as my artistry, it was I was way more creative. I wanted to take it further than just doing a job. But then on the other hand, I had to survive, so I had to learn how to do regular jobs with
Right.
regular people. I don't
Right.
know if you can even say that. It's just, I would
Yeah.
say, people with different experiences,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
it in that
Did
way.
you,
But
cuz you came back to America, didn't you? To visit?
yes, yes. And then I so then I went back to Germany. I stayed here for 3 months and I couldn't take it, basically. But I was working a lot, and then all the money I made, I took and I went back to America, and I did that back and forth like I had done before when I was with Izzy. I did the back and forth and the traveling around the world. I just kept going, and then I kept going back to LA, and then I kept going to New York. Then I ended up going to Costa Rica and hanging out there for months and months and months at a time. And just, I was just traveling and combining, trying to be a makeup artist and trying to make music
Mhm.
in all in one. I then, Dominique helped me to write songs, and Kathy Valentine and Gina Schock, the girls from the Go-Go's, she was playing in a band with them and friends with them, so they helped me. Everyone influenced me and helped me, like how to write a song, or they said, here, or I asked them, can I sing one of your songs, and they helped me
Was
and
this
stuff.
Diamond Dogs? Cuz it was, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Diamonds and Dogs. That's actually the name. I started that with Dominique, and we were just like, she just taught me everything and helped me. We were writing these little songs in her room, in the morning when we wake up and we came from a party or a show or something, and always had something we were mad about.
Right,
So
yeah.
we ended up writing a song. And yeah, she taught me everything. And then when I went back to Germany, oh, and also she had a band back then. It was called, like, this punk rock band called Methadone Cocktail, I think. And I remember, because I was always there watching her rehearse, when she was playing a gig, she would call me up on stage and have me sing, and I was just sweating bullets, But they all taught me, like, helped me how to be confident, and
Mhm.
and and just doing it. So to go back to your question, as far as America, I think it's more trendy, it's more upfront, and it's more bold as far as style and just everything. And I
Yeah.
and I have no idea how I ended up there in my life, but I did, and it was great.
When's the last time you were back here?
Oh my God, that's like a long time. That's
Okay.
probably 20 years.
Oh shit. Okay.
Because then I kept going back and forth and back and forth, but then I was trying this band. Oh, it somehow it all was intertwined. I ended up so then in between, I went back to Germany and I started this band with the songs I wrote with Dominique, and with the songs the girls wrote,
Mhm.
and I ended up putting a band together here in Germany, and calling I remember I was just rehearsing. It was like this little punk rock band, and I remember I called every musician I met in LA, and when they were coming here to play a show. I was like, "Hey, can I come and do support?" So I would do this for 10 years, but in the daytime I would do makeup
Yeah.
and be in the different cities. I would work in Hamburg, and then I would drive home. I would rehearse at night, and then I would play a gig the next day, and I don't know, just like that.
Hustling. What was the name of your band? What was the name of the band?
Well, the first name before I did the Diamonds and Dogs thing with Dominique, it was called Spastic Society.
So
It was
do you,
silly. It was
uh,
punk rock, but we actually ended up because of all the connections or the world I was in and all the people I knew.
yeah.
I remember I ended up here in the studio. The manager of the Scorpions, he had a studio here, and I was hanging out there because actually I was working with some band there doing makeup. So then, I had access to all these people, and I ended up walking around the studio and was like, "Hey, can I sing?" I'm a
Hmm.
singer. And they were like, yeah, right. I was like, "No, no, look, here's my demo." And it was like this awful demo. But then the guy from oh god, what was his name, the guy from the studio of the Scorpions, the manager, he ended up giving me studio time in his
Okay.
studio. And this demo, then I had another friend who was a photographer, but he moved to LA and became a director, and he was shooting music videos. And he called me up one day and he was like, "Hey, Juliette, we're shooting this music video in LA, can you come and do makeup and hair?" And I was like, yeah. And he said, "It's a German hip-hop band." And I was laughing. I was like, "Dude, there's no hip-hop in Germany." And he was like, "No, no, they're really good. You should meet them." So I ended up flying to LA, and I met this German band called the Fantastic Four. It's like this German hip hop band. And these guys were like amazing. And
Uh-huh.
they supported me because I ended up doing a video with them. Actually, I was an hour late at that video. That was the only time in my life when I was late at a makeup job, and it was horrible. Or maybe it wasn't the only time, but it was one of the few times. And oh my god. And I ended up telling them, "Hey, I have a band," And I remember Michi, one of the singer, and Thomas D, the other, the one of the rap guys. They would say, "Oh my god, you need to be a rock star." And I was like, "Okay." And they said, "Well, when you coming back to Germany?" After we did the video shoot, I went back to Germany and I went on tour with them somehow. And Thomas D, one of the guys, amazing, amazing person. I mean, they're all incredible people. He ended up producing my demo. And I got a publishing deal with BMG.
Oh.
So, and we used this money we got, to go into the studio, another big studio here in Germany, which was called Conny Plank. And
Hmm.
this family who owned the studio, Conny Plank, he used to be the producer from Ultravox and Annie Lennox and like all these Eurythmics, like all these big bands. And but I never met Conny Plank. I only met the son and his wife because at that time I think he already had passed. So
Hmm. Mm.
but it was amazing. And then in between, okay, I was doing more music videos and I was doing commercials and I was trying to get into fashion as far as being a makeup artist and tour and being on tour. Where was I?
What
Okay.
year was this? What year was this?
Well, it all started when I was born.
No. What year were you with the hip hop, the German hip hop? What year was that?
I think it was in 90s. It was
Oh,
it
okay.
was it
Okay.
was past Nirvana time because I remember Nirvana dancing with Megan in LA in some bar when Teen Spirit came out. So it must have been at least a couple of years after that.
Okay.
Maybe nine no 90s. And 98 maybe. I need to look it up
Okay.
when these tours were, when these videos were and stuff like that. But yeah, so I just kept going, working as a makeup artist, trying to get better and trying to be a musician, trying to figure it all out.
Dude,
So
I mean, and then okay, so you're here. When do you start doing fashion? Do you do runways? Do you, or is it just
Mm,
magazine work? What?
well, no, I was actually then they started having these big fashion fairs here in Germany, especially in here in Cologne and Düsseldorf. So I was starting to do. I met Markus Lambert. He was a hairstylist at a time. Also a really great guy. He he's a great photographer now, but they had all these salons, like hair salons. So he got me into working at the big fashion shows here in Germany. And because in Germany we have to do also hair, we have to do makeup and hair. That was also one of the perks. What I loved being in America, because you could do either makeup or hair. You don't have to do both.
Both. Yeah.
Here the agency immediately was like, you have to do hair or you're not going to work, and you have to be
Oh
great
shit.
at it, which is also hard because I never really in Germany, when you want to be a hairdresser, you have to learn for like 3 years in a salon. And then you have to
Wow.
get a degree, and you have to get this, and you have to get all kinds of blah, blah, red tape
Mm-hmm.
shit. And so all I had was, I was, when I was in New York, I did a workshop in hair with Vidal Sassoon. I remember Megan somehow got me into that, I think, or introduced, I don't know how it happened. It just happened. And, and then I did actually a hair training with Mott's hair before I met Marcus. And then I met Marcus, and then he got me into working at the shows because Mott's hair was sponsoring with the hairstylist some of the shows. And then I ended up doing a lot of shows with them, like for years, big, all the big shows, all the biggest shows that were here. I ended up working on them with him and learning, of course. And um, then after 10 years trying to play music, moving back and forth around, being in Costa Rica, trying to surf, getting into yoga, playing music, being in love, being crazy, figuring it out. I went back to Germany and I decided that I'm going to stop playing music. Not stop, but not trying to pursue it professionally or anything. Um, and I would focus on makeup because I knew I couldn't do it both
Right.
the way I wanted it and live off it. I was always, all the money I made from makeup, I put it into music, and I
Yeah.
never had any. So, I was so I decided I want to give that makeup thing like a real try, and I want to go to Paris and Milan and London, New York, and work at Fashion Week. This is actually something I should have done way back when I was in New York with Megan, but because I had no clue about this business and about anything, it ended up all being backwards. But so I grabbed my makeup stuff one day and I just hitchhiked to Paris, basically. And my friend Marcos, he actually went there. And so I ended up bunking with him in this tiny little room. And he had an agency in Paris as a hairstylist. And he started, yeah, I don't know. I just ended up being there I kind of followed him like a puppy and wanted to do it as well. So I ended up 3 years trying to get an agency in Paris, but nobody would see me because they're all like, oh, yeah, she's from Germany. Who gives a fuck, basically? If I would have been from America,
Yeah.
coming from New York or LA, I might have had a better chance. But being from Germany, it was just like, no. But I never gave up. So I ended up yeah, I ended up almost tenting in front of those agencies and emailing them and writing them and calling them and trying to get appointments and stuff. And I never did. Every time I had like a connection with one of the bookers of one of those really big agencies, they they quit. They quit their job and they went to another agency or to another town. And I remember my friend saying to me back then, he's like, well, back then at the time, Jet Root was a really big agency. He I think was the friend of Kevin O'Coin, or Kevin O'Coin,
Aquan.
this big
Yeah,
Kevin
Kevin
O'Connor,
Aquan.
this
Uh huh.
big makeup artist. Yeah, I think he was with Jet Root, and they started this agency with Steven Meisel, this agency called Jet Root, and they were really big in Paris. And I remember my friend saying to me, "This is the biggest agency, but they only have superstars. They will never take you." And I was looking at him, and I was like, "Watch me,"
There you go.
you know.
That's
So I
one way. That's one way to get Juliet started.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up not contacting any agency besides that one. I was like, I'm going to be with this agency. So I kept writing them and calling them and trying to get an appointment, and it was just not happening. And then I was in Costa Rica over the winter, and I knew they were all sitting in the freezing cold in Paris and New York and stuff. And I wrote in the sand, "I love Jet Root," with a huge heart, and I took a picture of a sunset, and I ended up sending it to that booker at Jet Root in Paris. And I said, "Merry Christmas, blah blah blah. I will be coming back in March for the fashion week. Maybe if you have a spot." And actually, she ended up replying to me, and she said, "I'm not working in Paris anymore for Jet Root. I'm working in New York now, but I can give you the number of my colleague who is in Paris now." And for some reason, I wrote this other person in Paris, and she said, "When can you come by?" And I was like, "Oh my God." So I took my portfolio. I remember I took my portfolio. I took a pair of high heels in my bag, and I jumped on a night train from here to Paris, basically. And in the morning, I got to the, to Paris. I put on my high heels like the models would do, because none of us can really walk in these high heels, so we only wear them for like a minute. You wear your sneakers in the
Hmm.
subway, and then right when you go in somewhere, you put those high heels on. And I did that, and I walked in that agency, and the booker was really nice. I remember Benedetta was her name, and she was amazing. And then she said to me, she looked at my portfolio, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing, but we're not looking for a makeup artist. We need a hairstylist." And I
Oh
was
my
thinking, what
god.
the fuck, why did she even ask me to come there? Because she knew I was applying as a makeup artist. But then I laughed at her, and I said, what's funny? I I'm actually also a hairstylist, because in Germany we have to do both. So and that was
Boom.
it. And she was like, "Okay, I'll call you for the next show." So I ended up going back to Germany, writing her a couple of times, and then she actually booked me for my first show. It was Celine with Dick Page. And the funny thing is, I was in when I was in Paris, and I was with all these fashion people, all these makeup artists, all these big, they were big there. And I remember they were all saying, "Oh, I'm working for this show and that show and this show." And then they were looking at me like, "Who do you work for?" And I said, "I just work for Celine." And everyone was like, "What?" And I didn't even know who Celine was. And
Yeah.
then they
Wow.
explained to me that they are actually as big as Chanel in Paris, and that everyone wants to work for the Celine show, because all the models and everyone gets like a pair of a bag or sunglasses for free.
Oh
And
wow,
because they're
nice.
so
Yeah,
expensive, I guess
yeah.
everyone wanted to work on that
Celine is
show.
very, very sleek and very. It's yeah, very beautiful. Yeah,
Yes, super, super
you
beautiful.
had to be tall and slim. I had to say that they ain't no. I don't
No, but they have
know.
some cool shoes for short
Well,
people. But
shoes. I don't know
um,
the shoe line so much, but I
other
just
good
I
shoes.
the jackets and then just I just used to love all that and going like, if I was only 5'10" or something, and didn't have a big ass, I'd be wonderful in this.
Ah, like I
But
said, they have great shoes and glasses.
yeah,
That's
um,
funny.
that's
Yeah,
a
so
dude. It's tenacity, 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 tenacity. I mean, dude, keep going because this is amazing. You're just okay. So you're
yeah,
doing
but
you're
I mean,
back.
I don't want to like, I tend to annoy people with talking too much,
You're
but
here to
it's
talk.
it all it all just happened like this. It's crazy, and I remember the next time I went into Jet Route, uh, and I was still assisting. Everyone is assisting at the shows. Basically, there's one
Yeah.
head artist, and then everyone who comes in starts assisting. You need to get into the first assistant team, and tra la 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 la. But I remember the next time I went into Jet Route, all these bookers came up to me and said hi and da da da. Everyone was super sweet, and I thought like, I don't even know them. Like, why are they so nice? And then this one girl, I remember I was in the elevator and she said, "You're the girl with the email who sent the I love Jetroot in the sand with the sunset. We all got it and we loved it. And we sent it to New York and we sent it to Japan to every Jetroot agency in the
Oh
world."
my God. There you go.
I was like,
There you go.
wow.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
I know.
So I don't even know where to go. Well, I mean, you're first of all, when we'll have to, I'm gonna fill in images of stuff you've done because first, it's very colorful what you do, and it's very there is an artistry to what you've done. Because I'm just like, I knew you were a makeup artist, but then when I see your post and everything, I'm like, fuck, Julia did this? Nah, come on, but it's like, it's so good, and it is. I can
Oh,
understand.
thank you.
No, for sure. And I can understand you're like, I don't want to do boring shit because I'm an artist. I want to create. I want to, with all the colors and everything. And it is amazing. And also, it's not always like I don't know if they if it's your ideas or if they say like let's work together do something, but it's not always traditional, which is amazing. Like you just see sometimes um what's the word I want to use? Non-traditional. Okay, so you want lipstick, but it's not going to always be on the lips. Sometimes it's going to be half a lip. Sometimes it's going to go into what I mean. So it's who do you come up a lot? Like, do you do a show? Do you come up with some of the design or magazine work? I mean, do you look at the
Well,
clothes and how does that work?
um, well, it all depends who, what, where,
Yeah.
basically. Some of the stuff in my also first of all, all this stuff I do, I don't know why I I have to say God puts these ideas in my head and I wake up with them every day. It's crazy. It's driving me crazy because I want to do them all and I can't, basically. But first of all, I've been doing all this stuff. Like, when I was a little punk rock girl, I used to do my own makeup on my eyes, and it was actually the same style what people are doing now, what they're
Mm-hmm.
all crazy about.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting shunned for it, basically, you know. And also, as far as my makeup, since the beginning, or hair, I was always, I don't know, I was always trying to do what I thought was nice,
Mm-hmm.
or something, or I was influenced by something else and I was like, oh, I want to try that. But I think over the years, my work especially in makeup, it got more reduced to almost learning how to do nothing and making it look beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Because when you start out as an artist, I think you're more, the German word is called plakativ. Is it placative or something? Does that make sense? You're more like strong, like maybe harder edges, or and later, once you define your craft, it becomes more smooth, basically, more ironed out. And also in a lot of the stuff I have done, I did a free production with this photographer, with Markus Lambert, the guy who used to be a hairstylist, who is a photographer now. And we used to do these free productions together, where I had just had an idea, and we would just, and he'd take a photo, we have a model and stuff, and we just turn it into a beauty spread, and then he would sell it to a magazine to get it published.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, but also I did the shows. I assisted in these teams at Fashion Week, and after the first Celine show for 10 years, and I ended up then going to Milan and London and Paris and New York, like the whole fashion circus, and I did it 4 times a year, plus 2 times I did the men shows as well. And the inspiration there in Paris and New York and stuff, as far as fashion, the magazines, the whole city, just everything is so inspirational, but different inspirational, that I just end up putting it into some kind of makeup. I shut up now.
No, no, no. No. This is about you. I want you to keep talking. What are you working on now?
Right now, I'm actually working on my first book. It's called Matte or Glossy, and it's a business guide on how to become a hairstylist, a makeup artist, and a stylist in the fashion and entertainment industry. And it's exactly that book what I could have used 30 years ago to, yeah, to
Yeah,
turn my career into a different career.
like a new Bible. When do you expect that to be
Yes.
out? This year, next year? What?
Well, the thing is, I like like um, like the way I am. I never give up. I've been trying to shop this book for a couple of years, and I got rejected all around the world. But because I never give up, I ended up learning InDesign, and I did like everything myself.
That's like what I did with my Viper Room book. I haven't found anyone who wanted that, so I've self published that. It's expensive to make, and people are like, but it's all my photos and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, then how did you release? How did you end up releasing your book? With just
you
self-publishing, or you
just
got a
self pub
publisher?
is just, no. I've been looking for a publisher, and ironically, to me, I'm surprised because I think the Viper Room is such like CBGB's and possibly Studio 54, one of the clubs that will be on people's minds forever. It's like one of the most known clubs around the world, outside of
Right,
those two as well. And I have just, because I was the one of the only in-house photographers there. No one has these photos, so it's like, okay, you would expect people would be like, yeah, I think
right.
someone big has to die before it gets sold. I don't know, God forbid. But I just, during the pandemic, I made it into a book, and I had a show, I had a gallery show in LA, and then right when I came to Texas, and when I came to El Paso, I had one, so I sold them there, and then sold a couple online. A lot of John Frusciante fans are
Mm-hmm.
crazy, and they bought, like, books and his photos and stuff, because his photos came out really good, but so much to where I had to number the photos, the amount of I was selling because people just wanted to buy. And I'm like, yeah, but as I figured, they'll mean more if there's only a certain amount out, kind of thing. But yeah, until then, I'm still looking for a publisher, and it is what it is. So yeah,
It's and this world, the publishing world, as far as books and stuff, it's even, I mean, everyone I knew, I called everyone I knew, and even Slash tried to help me. He tried to get me an appointment with his publisher through his lawyer, and it just ended up the guy left the company, and the yada yada yada. It's just not, I don't know, I just like always, I just keep going, and I want to publish this book, and I want to release it, and who
yeah,
cares? I just do it. I will find a way, basically. It's getting there. It looks
yeah,
wild. It looks like me, I guess. I love
yeah.
it. I love it. I'm super proud. I can't even imagine that I was
Well,
able to do
when
this.
you're done, you send me yours. I'll send you mine. How's that?
I'd love to. I'd love to. I don't know how long it takes because
Mm,
I want to publish it on Amazon, basically,
mm.
and hopefully get a collaboration with some kind of company before. But also, this is also the big companies, like L'Oreal and stuff. They only work with other big companies. So if I would have like a big publishing deal with a huge amount of books, then they would say yes. But
Yeah.
because I'm just this one person, no one gives a crap. you
Damn
know
it! Damn it! Well, were you taking? Did I see a picture with you and Slash and was it Dove? No, were you with? Was that or was it just? Was it?
when
No, maybe that was Dove's birthday party. I don't know. When did you have? When's the last time you seen any of them? Have you seen them recently?
I saw Slash and Megan last year,
Okay,
and
then
they
maybe
they
that's what I saw.
actually they did this crazy thing. They invited me to go on this private tour of the Dome in Cologne, this huge church, and we ended up taking an outside elevator, which was like actually for workers and stuff. And this elevator took us all the way to the top. It was insane. It was insane. It was really,
Was it safe?
it was crazy. I have
Hmm.
it was rattling really hard, and it
Great.
didn't feel safe. And I mean, I mean, being afraid of heights, I'm not, but this got on a whole nother level. So, but it was amazing, of course. It was super fun, and I just Slash just wrote me a message recently saying that actually, because he's on tour with Guns N' Roses right now, they are coming to Germany in June. Just kind of two.
Slash and Duff, I can 100% say they are like one of the nicest guys in the music
Yeah,
business. I mean, and Duff is, I know Duff a little bit better than Slash. I've only met Slash a couple of times in the office at the club, but Duff, I went to his house for his wife's birthday party. I mean, just both of them are just super freaking
yes.
nice people. It's like,
I know,
uh,
and the funny thing is, there was a
and the
when
fact
we
that she's super gorgeous. I've never met Megan, so
yes,
I don't know her, but I mean,
Megan
but
is
anyway,
amazing, yeah. But the funny thing is because I didn't after me and Izzy broke up, and then I went back to Germany and everything. I didn't was in contact with them. Only the I was still in contact with the manager, with Alan Niven. We kept writing emails and stuff, and he's super nice. But I didn't see them for a long time, and I think the first time I saw them again was like 14 years later backstage there's this big festival here in Germany, this big music festival. It's called Rock am Ring. And I saw them backstage, and I remember I started crying. I was so emotional. And I remember Duff and Slash hugging me, and Slash kept saying, "Don't cry, baby, don't cry." And I kept crying more because it was so emotional for me to see them again,
Mm.
and it was crazy. But then we kept in touch, and I've seen Duff a couple of times, but I've seen Slash more here. He, whenever he was around, I went and visit, and with Megan, of course, when they got back together. So
Yeah.
it's great. And like what you said, they are so incredibly nice. And this is something where I thought myself, like, how come I was connected to these nice people?
Because you're
Like,
nice. What are you talking
what?
about? Because you're nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
you
you
know.
have I mean, I never thought that I was that nice, but
Well,
I guess, I mean, it's just
I like how your voice went down there. I never thought it was so nice. Well, let's speaking of music, what are you listening to now? Is there some, what is Juliette listening to?
um I
Give
mean,
us,
when I was younger, there was always one genre I was listening to, and that was it. But later in life, now, since music has been such a big part of my life, and I still love music. And like I said, like Bob Marley said, well, good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. I couldn't imagine a world without music, for
mm,
sure. And but my taste has changed, not changed, but it evolved in listening to other styles and genres. I really love hip hop now, and I really love R&B and reggae, because I met this German reggae artist called Gentleman, and I became really, really good friends with his beautiful wife. She's a singer in his band also, and a solo artist. Great, great singer, amazing singer. They introduced me kind of like the reggae world and stuff, and I kept
uh,
working with them. Actually, I kept doing makeup for them and styling, and I went on tour with them. I actually designed a couple of their merchandise, T-shirts and stuff like that, and it's been amazing. So yeah, I've been mostly listening to reggae and R&B. But then on the other hand, I also even like country or something.
what? Like what? What?
Then I mean,
What?
some. I just
Like
love. I
new
just love.
country or old country?
I don't know. I don't have so much knowledge of country music, but as far
Okay.
as it's a guitar and a beautiful voice, I would say Dolly Parton probably.
Oh, well, that's considered old country, but
Okay, yeah,
I
no,
mean, yeah.
I'm not. I just these days I just like listening to music, basically,
Hmm.
whatever moves me, and it can even be a cheesy Justin Bieber song or something where I think, oh wow, that's actually
Okay,
cool.
I think you should
But,
stop before.
no.
I think you should stop while you're ahead.
You think it gets embarrassing? I don't care. I'm proud.
Uh,
You're always welcome. You're always welcome,
I
man.
love
We
you.
had such an amazing time. I'm really grateful, and I'm thankful for you. And I'm trying to stay happy,
You
and
be happy.
hopefully,
But
look, I
it
got
is what it is.
this weird skin here.
Oh
It's
my
like a
god!
chicken. Quack, 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 quack.
Stop! Stop!
This is new. It's new. I didn't have that before.
If it's summer, if it's rain, no matter much, 'cause I got such a sad and dreamy way of seeing things. Sometimes it's ugly, but it's pure. Doors turns into something else, and that's new to me. Turns into something else, and that's new to me.
Right, right. Yeah, it's really hard. Anyway, it's really quick. Vasco, I wrote a book. It's called Matte or Glossy.
I have already
it's a business
the
Bible.
pleasure. I have already the pleasure to see before we are start to work. And for me, this is the one of those what I'm gonna buy and what I'm gonna have in my salon. If you're gonna see there, they have a lot of inspiration. This is the fashion hand and the fashion industry. We need to grab these to with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you
is
so
so
much.
great. Okay, this is you guys. Vasco from
Ciao, Ellen.
Beautylicious in cooperation with 5 Candies a Week. We love you. Be beautiful.
Mwah.
Hi, my name is Juliette and I'm a hair and makeup artist. This job is crazy, but it has taken me to places I could never have imagined. Do you ever wonder how to become a makeup artist and a hairstylist in the fashion and entertainment industry? Well, you're gonna love my new book idea.
Hi, my name is Tamika and my friend Juliette wrote this amazing book called Matte or Glossy. This book is not just for makeup artists, but this is a book for anyone who wants to be in the entertainment business. It shows you how you can professionally turn your passion into your job.
I'm here with my friend Slash.
Hi.
I love Slash.
What's happening?
Listen, I want to show you something. I wrote...
Oh, is this what you've been talking about?
Yes,
Let me see.
this is what I told you. I wrote this book. It's called Matte or Glossy, and it's a business Bible on how to become a makeup artist and a hairstylist in the fashion and entertainment industry. And it's a bookazine, you know. It's like a book in the form of a fashion magazine. And
It's what you call comprehensive. It's got all kinds of stuff in it.
yeah, and it has like a whole bunch of well, everything I experienced since I finished Joe Blasco makeup school when I was hanging out with you guys.
Beautiful. Yeah, lovely. Gorgeous.